The world of mixed martial arts is no stranger to controversy, and once again, it finds itself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. This time, it's Jon Jones, arguably the most talented but equally polarizing fighter in MMA history, at the center of the storm. The claim? Jon Jones doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall because he's scared he'll get brutally KO'd. And frankly, it's not hard to believe. Let's call it what it is. Jon Jones is avoiding Tom Aspinall. Not because of scheduling conflicts, not because of promotional issues, but because he knows deep down that Tom Aspinall poses the biggest threat to his legacy since he first walked into the octagon. For years, Jones has operated like a kingpin of power in the UFC, controlling when and where he fights. But now, that power is being challenged. When fighters watch tape on Tom Aspinall, one thing becomes clear. The man is a machine. Lightning fast for a heavyweight, crisp striking, elite jiu-jitsu, and perhaps most importantly, an appetite for finishing fights. Jon Jones may be the GOAT to many, but even legends feel fear. And this fear, the fear of being KO'd in front of the world by a new generation, might just be what's keeping Jon Jones far away from the UFC's interim heavyweight champ. BJ Penn once said, "With the ultimate fighter, it was always going to be against Khabib. That's the only person I want to coach against." There's something profound in those words. It's about legacy, about accepting the greatest challenge. That's what legends do. But where Penn leaned into the fire, Jon Jones seems to be sprinting away from it. Jones has talked a lot lately about coaching, legacy, and long-term plans. "I'm just starting to coach. So when I get bigger and better and stuff like that, the coaching thing is like those little thoughts that you had after your degree. I'm adding them up." The sentiment sounds reflective, even wise. But in the fight game, there's a fine line between building your legacy and hiding behind it. Compare that to Tom Aspinall. He's not talking about stepping back. He's not discussing being selective. He's here to fight anyone and everyone. In fact, he's said himself that he doesn't care who's in front of him. He just wants the title. That hunger is what separates fighters who make history from those who merely linger in it. Jones may be holding on to power, but if everyone does what's best for themselves and not the sport, then nothing will ever get done. Right now, Tom Aspinall is the future. He's earned his shot, and keeping that from him is not just unfair, it's cowardly. There's no doubt Dana White understands power and how it drives negotiations. And right now, Jon Jones is holding the division hostage. He's been out, inactive, injured, and largely absent from the spotlight, other than clips of him swimming in his mansion's pool, smiling like a man who has no plans to come back soon. But as one analyst bluntly said, the UFC can't do anything. They should strip him of the title. Why haven't they? Maybe it's loyalty. Maybe it's hope. Or maybe it's fear of upsetting the narrative they've built around Jon Jones. But when over *70,000 fans sign a petition to strip Jones of his title, yes, 70,000, you can't pretend this isn't a serious issue anymore. And don't lie, you probably signed it too. "I'm going to find your email in that database," one critic joked. But he wasn't wrong. The outrage is real. Let's take a sidebar here and talk about Mike Perry, one of the sport's most rugged, no-nonsense brawlers. One commentator said, "He is a savage. I wish you could have seen the first 3 minutes of that round. I'm drilling him with shots, rocking his head back, and is just walking through them." Perry represents what real fighters do. They don't run from smoke. They run into it. Jones, he's not showing that. In fact, the word on the street is that he's terrified of being flatlined by Aspinall. Not outworked, not out-wrestled, knocked out, cold. The kind of KO that becomes a meme. The kind of KO that follows you the rest of your life. And for a man who's built his persona on invincibility, that's unacceptable. But this is MMA. No one stays untouchable forever. Robert Whittaker may have said it best. No one cares anymore. Let's just be done with it. It is what it is. The Jon Jones show has dragged on for too long. It's become about delay tactics, negotiation angles, and carefully curated appearances. Meanwhile, the heavyweight division is in limbo. Fighters like Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, and of course, Aspinall himself are left to sit on the sidelines, waiting on a man who may never return. And what's worse, Jones isn't even trying to hide his apathy. He's smiling, vacationing, and giving off the aura of a man perfectly content to never fight again. If the UFC truly values activity, legacy, and fairness, they need to act now. Let Tom Aspinall fight. Whether that means stripping Jones, making the interim belt undisputed, or booking a match without him, it doesn't matter. The division needs clarity, not excuses. There's an entire generation of heavyweights ready to go to war. Tom Aspinall isn't just ready. He's begging for it. And if Jon Jones won't give it to him, then someone else will. Just don't be surprised when Aspinall puts that person to sleep too. This is the fight to make. Not just because Aspinall deserves it. Not just because fans demand it. But because the sport demands it. Jon Jones, if you're reading this, stop hiding. You're either the GOAT or you're a ghost. Time to pick a side.